Wilson. Boy, somehow escapes. He's going to run for it. First down, Jets. Wilson. Plenty of green grass. Wilson stays in bounds. He's still going. And he's in. Touchdown. Zach Wilson pulling a magic trick.
Bend over in. Barrios gets it just inside the end zone. He's got some steam. He's got a hole past the 30. He is off to the races. Braxton Barrios. Nobody in front of him. Barrios is going to score.
4th and goal for the Jets. Borden, the fullback, is in. Fake from Wilson. Here they come. Wilson to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Connor McDermott. Going airborne for the Jets.
Chrebet is magic.
And it's complete for the touchdown. Chrebet, the rookie from Boomer. He grew up in Garfield, New Jersey, 10 minutes from Giant Stadium.
But short of a first down, Chrebet was able to work free. What a move by Wayne Chrebet.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a kid who is just all heart.
Welcome to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Chrebet and Robbie Sabo. Welcome back, New York Jets fans, to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Chrebet. A Monday night after a win, a 26-21 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was Zach Wilson versus Trevor Lawrence, 1 versus 2. And although the teams only had 5 wins combined going in, it was actually one of the more entertaining games of the weekend when you look at the NFL slate. And one man that was in the house who was there, who was rooting on Gang Green, was Wayne Chrebet. Wayne, what was the atmosphere like? What did you think of Sunday?
It was great. I just want to say happy holidays to you to start, obviously, and to everybody listening. But yeah, went to the game with my parents and my son. We haven't been in a game in a couple of weeks, and to tell you, it was great just to be back out there. But perfect day for football, and I tell you, it was exciting. You know how Zach got things going. You know, with the long run. Certainly had the defense started, but I'm telling you, I told you the thing that got me most excited was Barrios' kickoff return for a touchdown. I mean, you know, Zach's run was great. We'll get into that, but you know, he's done some great things, Barrios, this year. Certainly know he is a free agent to be, and he's showing us how valuable he's been as a receiver and returner. So it's great to see him doing well, and definitely a guy I think they need to look to, lock up with a long-term deal.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been improving every day, every week, every year. And he was one of the more under the radar pickups Douglas had in that first season. A lot of people were surprised New England let him go. You know, he kind of fit their prototype when Brady was still there, you know, Welker and Edelman, like a Randall Cobb, like slot guy. But, you know, to me, Barrios, he's the perfect number 4. I mean, he could even be a number 3 as a slot guy, number 2, kick returner, punt returner, and as you said, 102, 101 yard kick return. I think it was the Jets' first kick return for a touchdown since 2018. He was fast too on that play, and he tweeted something out on Monday or Sunday night, you know, kind of mocking someone. I forgot who it was, saying that he's quick but not fast, and he was clocked at going at a pretty high rate of speed. So yeah, he's definitely on the come up, and he's gaining steam in terms of popularity with the fans.
Yeah, that whole quick versus fast argument. If you're quick, you're fast.
Yeah, you would hear that too.
One thing. Yeah, not often are you going in a straight line on the field, but the fact that guys like him and myself can change direction so quickly that we get a jump on guys that have straight line speed, because we're coming out of our break 1-2 steps, we're at full speed already. But yeah, I mean, they ain't even close to putting a hand on them. But I watch him, and the thing that I realized, and man, I think about, but his third down catch in the fourth quarter on that last drive,
when
as soon as he caught that pass, I said to my son, that won the game. At that point, to keep the ball for a first down and continue the drive and continue to run the clock, I said that to my son. I'm like, that catch just won it, and I believe that. It's just little things like that might go unnoticed. They're thinking about the kickoff return, but that play was a huge play in the game, and he's continued to make those plays every week.
Yeah, it's one of those where he knows he's going to get hit, and he surely got popped. It was a big catch, and on top of that, Jeff Smith had an opportunity in the first half to make a similar catch where he was going to get popped, and he was injured coming into the game, and he just couldn't make the catch. So you're right. The human element with emotions, that's a big thing for a team.
Yeah. But understand this. Look at both sides of the ball. How many guys caught the ball and was a yard short, yard and a half, 2 yards short of the first down? He was at first down depth. All he had to do was catch it, get hit, and go to the ground. It's not like, that's something I hate to see. Guys end up a yard short, half yard short for a first down, and you got to punt. I don't know. It's a little thing, pet peeve of mine, but he got the job done. He certainly knew where he had to be, to get the first down, and he did that.
Yeah, another guy who got the first down, more than a first down, was Zach Wilson, looking like BYU product Steve Young out there, pulling a Houdini out of the pocket. I think that was the first touchdown, right? Barrios was number 2, but Wilson got the fans on his feet with that run. What did you think from your angle watching that one?
Yeah, it was right in front of me. And like I said, we saw that he kind of was in some trouble there, but that escapability that he has, that's something you can't coach. You either have it or you don't, was that sense of the pocket breaking down. And he broke out and he took off. And, I'm like, all right, he's going, we're watching. And then he just did a great job of, putting his right foot in the ground, turning the field. And I was like, there's a difference right here. Nothing against Trevor Lawrence, but Zach put his right foot in the ground, cut it back inside, and got the touchdown. Fourth quarter, last drive, Trevor Lawrence breaks it on a long run. There's not a lot of time left. Needs to score a touchdown. He goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
6'6", 220 pounds. Put your head down, put your shoulder into the guy who's standing still and get into the end zone.
Yeah, he can do some damage too.
He went out of bounds and they never scored.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I said to my son, like, dude, he's 6'6", 2 something. Put your shoulder down, get to the wall and get in the end zone. And he went out of bounds. And that's the difference between Zach scoring and Trevor not scoring.
And what's interesting is Lawrence used to do that in college too.
He had his stance.
Yeah.
That guy was standing still. He would have carried that guy right in the end zone. I was glad he didn't do it, but that's the difference between what Zach did and what Trevor did.
Absolutely. And Lawrence threw for, I think, close to 300 yards, 280, I think. No touchdowns, no picks. Wilson, the box score doesn't look great, but it was just a little over 100 yards passing, almost 100 yards rushing. But I told fans this on Twitter after the game. Stats, while they mean something, when you're trying to evaluate Wilson right now, they're for suckers. You can't look at the stats. What you got to look at with Wilson is that he flips his brain to the confident side and that he remains there. And what you saw from him yesterday was decisiveness. A couple times he had a free runner right up the gut. He didn't freeze. Like on the one play, Lawrence was going backwards. I don't know where he was going. And he took a sack for like 25 yards, fumbled. He was decisive, Wilson, and he broke the pocket and he did exactly what he wanted to do. He wasn't thinking out there. And that's the key with Wilson moving forward, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, he played a great game. Like I said, statistically, I mean, you look at, you're looking up at the big screen at the yardage leaders for the day, and you see rushing yards, and you see, 3 for 90, and he's up there with the top running backs. I mean, that's not easy to do, man. I mean, you don't get lucky like that. You're good. And you maybe not, like I said, you see the yards, but that's a win. That's what you need. That's what you drafted him for. Well, you want to see Joe Burrow throw for 100 yards. That's great. Trevor threw for 300. That's great. He's got a great career coming up. But they didn't win. Zach did everything they needed to win. And what's this, 3 weeks now without an interception? this kid's, coming around, man. I mean, we only have 4 wins this year, but this kid's, it'll be a big reason why we do have a lot of wins come next season and seasons to be after that.
Yeah, and who's looking at that stat leaders for the day are the fantasy players during the game. Me among them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's no question. But you cannot look at it. I mean, you watching the game, you don't miss a single minute of the game, but still. And Lawrence, the one thing that concerns me about Lawrence, we won't touch on it for too long, but his release seems to be just a little long. Like, guys get jumps. A lot of the DBs, they signed a safety off the street. The Jets, Parks, who did a good job. Pinnock, who's normally a corner, went to safety. He played well. He hit someone in the fourth quarter on that deep crosser that dislodged the ball inside the 5 or 7. His release is a bit long, and Zach Wilson is the exact opposite. He has that quickness, and if he's decisive, he's going to be really something special, like you said.
Yeah, here's the thing about Trevor. He didn't throw any passes where the DBs were driving on the ball.
Right.
Everything was these deep crossers or sail routes. Everything was with the receiver running away from the ball, where he can just lead them, and they could. And they made great catches, Marvin Jones and Austin, and they were great throws. I mean, on the dot, perfect throws. Except for the one the guy hit and he dropped. But there was nothing where they were like out routes or something where it was high percentage throws, but easier throws where you could just lead the guy.
Drop it in the bucket type stuff.
Yeah, where Zach's throwing passes where they're driving on it, in routes and slants and stuff like that. So different types of quarterbacks, but both going to have successful careers. Yeah,
and, the game was close throughout. Riverboat Ron Middleton is 1-0 as head coach in the NFL. Went for it on 4th down a bunch of times. The fans appreciated that. There's no doubt. And, the game-winning touchdown turned out to be not Jumbo Elliott, who well, but Connor McDermott, who made it look graceful out there.
Yeah. It's funny, Zach got away and threw it there. The guy made the catch. I was like, wow, that's a great catch. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because my son's like, that was a lineman. And I didn't realize it. And I was looking, I was like, he's a Hamburglar, gloves on that Jumbo had when he caught the pass in the Monday Night Miracle. But that was a great catch. Going back against the grain and catching the ball up and away from him. And that certainly was a big play in the game. But again, that was Zach Wilson making a play. And as far as Ron Middleton, right? Yep. Coach, I listened to him after the game. I liked everything he had to say. Certainly sounded like a head coach to me, talking about his team, and he was talking about, the game, talking about how it's a duck and how it looks calm on the surface, but underneath you're like pedaling away. I like the analogy, but good for him. Hopefully, I know he has dreams of being a head coach one day, and maybe this is a great experience and first step for him. But he did all the right moves going for 4th down when they needed to. And he was a big reason with the rest of the coaching staff why they got the win yesterday.
Yeah, he was really composed all week, from the get-go. His first presser, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah. He didn't try to, his quote was, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. Everything's in place. Everything's doing good. And then he called a great game on the sideline too, with the timeouts at the end of the first half. So yeah, kudos to the new Riverboat Ron, and away we go.
And he gave all the credit to the coaching staff.
Right.
And he didn't say, I felt like we should go for it on 4th down, or I felt this, or I felt that. He said this was a collective decision. We got our analytics guy, when to go for it, why not to go for it. And we spoke about this during the week, and we were going to be aggressive, but not stupid about it. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. They didn't just be aggressive, just to be aggressive. Everything was well thought out. And, like I said, I'm not going to say it was a perfect game, but they really didn't do any harm to themselves. There was no turnover. There was no real place you could look back and say, oh, we should have done things differently. I think they did things near perfect. And it was a great win. I mean, I hear people in the stands, well, maybe Jacksonville's not trying to win because they want the draft pick, or, Jets are, they're like, you think the Jets, someone said to me, you think the Jets are trying to win today? I'm like, how stupid are you?
How
stupid are you? Even last year, you think they're mad that they they won because they lost the number 1 pick. These guys aren't playing. They're playing for their lives here. They're playing to win. Like, bottom line, yes, the Jets were playing to win yesterday. Yes, Jacksonville was playing to win. I'm like, I hate people that talk like that. Jets were trying to win yesterday. Jags, the Jets won fair and square. So, don't come to me and say, do you think the Jets are trying to win? Yes, the Jets are trying to win every day of every week forever. So don't ever come to me and question that again.
Yeah, it's always been bad, but it's worse now because of the NBA. The NBA and NFL have been lumped in. And in the NBA, the tanking really has significant real world results. But for the NFL, the NFL, no. I mean, people were ready to jump off a cliff at the fact that they were going to get Lawrence last year. And where we are today, who do you want moving forward, Wilson or Lawrence? It's a close call based on yesterday. So, you can't worry about that. There's only 17 games in an NFL season. Each game is precious. Each practice, each rep is precious to these guys. They're independent contractors. So never, never, never worry about that.
No, I can see the way they're playing and their emotion on the sideline and the way they're warming up and everything about it. Mm-hmm. New York Jets are trying to win, and they won, and they've won some games they probably shouldn't have because they were playing hard, and hopefully they got some tough games left, and they're going to be competitive. And let's just hope they could pull one or both of them out, because they're going to have their hands full. But, why wouldn't you want to go against the best teams to see where you're at and hopefully end the season on a great note?
Yeah. And the other thing from this game, too, is silver lining. For anyone worried about Saleh and his coaching ability, the fact that they operated so smoothly without him is not a negative. It's not a knock on Saleh. That's actually a positive, that he put that culture and structure in place, he and Douglas, to make that work and make that possible.
Think about this. When is the last time we went into the end of the year or into the off season, not even a whisper of, do we need a new GM? Do we need a new head coach? Do we need new coordinators? It's not happening this year. And I can't remember the last time where there wasn't even speculative, media or, people on the radio bringing up maybe we should move on a different direction. They're headed in the right direction. Look at the draft by Douglas. You got Zach throwing Elijah, you're Tucker blocking, the 2 Michael Carters, doing their thing. And
Eccles, the other corner.
Yeah, this was a good draft, man.
It was.
This was a really good draft.
It was. So, and the first one, he's getting hammered for the first one, but still, you got to let it play out. Becton got injured. He's a big man. Yeah. He still has time to right the ship, and he was great and dominant his first year. Mims hasn't really worked out, but hey, not every guy, and I tell people this, not every draft pick is going to work out. There are great GMs in which their hit rate is 1 or 2 per draft. That's just the way it is. So
Mims isn't a bust. He's been hurt. He hasn't produced. Maybe he's not, different, in the system. But, Becton is going to play for 10, 12 years for the Jets. He's going to make Pro Bowls. He's going to be top-rated guys at left tackle. That guy's a stud. Mm-hmm. And like I said, look at everybody who contributed this year and young people they gave a chance to. I mean, that's a good draft. And these guys are going to play for a long time. These aren't just flash and pan guys. These guys are getting experience every week. And, I said it, when he drafted these guys, I thought, wow, these are some good picks. And in addition to that, we got 2 picks in the top, 5, top 7?
It was 4 and 8. And after this weekend, it's 4 and 6. They stayed at 4 with their own pick, but because of Seattle's loss, they went from 8 to 6. So it's 4 and 6 right now. Yeah,
people aren't talking about that yet, but he made that move to make that possible.
Yep.
So they're set up nice. Yeah, 4 wins, great. It wasn't a great year. For me, I think all 4 of those wins were good wins. But they got 2 picks in the top 10 because of the moves he made last year. And so, I got to hand it to him. I'm glad we have him.
Yeah, me too. He's made all the right moves. He knows the salary cap and he knows personnel mainly. Yeah. He was a former player. He played on the offensive line. I think it was Richmond in college. And he just he understands the type of football player that it takes to build a culture.
Right. Well, you look at it, how many, openings and, places they need to fill the roster, empty spots where you didn't have a guy, you didn't have a competition. He filled those spots this year.
Yeah. O-line was deep. Receiver was deep.
Yeah. Listen, they still have some needs at some positions, but they filled some spots. Last year was like, wow, what do we draft? We need everything. Well, we don't need everything next year. I like to say we're set at running back.
Right.
With Carter and Coleman and Johnson. I like to say we're set at quarterback and we got a backup in Mike White. You know what I mean? We got some guys on our line. I mean, we got some young DBs. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Marcus May, but Dave, and Quincy, they bring in Quinnen's doing great. Quincy Williams they bring in. So going into this next draft, they could focus on their big needs, not just every spot they had open last year.
Yep. And their first 5 picks are all going to be impact guys, in the first 3 rounds. So it's all set up. I know this year, like you said, was a tough one for fans, but it really is set up. And when things have been bad for so long, it does take time. Sometimes you can turn it around in 1 year. Most times you can't. It's more than just personnel. And that's the key, that he knows it's more than just personnel.
Yeah. Listen, if you're a Jets fan that was there yesterday and that place was not very full.
Right.
I mean, I actually saw towards the fourth quarter when the game still in doubt, looking up in the upper section, there was actually in the corners, there were some sections that had not one fan in it. And I've never seen that. I've never seen that in the coldest games with snow or this or that, how bad a team was. There was nobody there, but the people were there, were loud as can be and on their feet. On those, Zach's run and Braxton's run. And just at the end of the game, when the game was in doubt, when they're inside the 5 on the 1 yard line, that place was loud. And whoever came out, I mean, I know it's tough to do after persons, whoever came out to cheer for that team yesterday got their money's worth. Yeah,
you're 100% right. They deserve credit because I was there too. And it got loud in that last sequence, even though the building was not full at all. And what did you think about that last sequence, by the way? Mosley, we thought Mosley was going to pick it off, end the game. He was distraught. He couldn't believe it. I didn't even notice the Jags receiver caught it right on the goal line. So I see him hurrying up and, the clock's ticking down, 14, 13, 12, and he spikes it on 3rd down. I mean, that's pretty much all they could do right there, right? I mean, if you try a quick goal line fade, you run the risk of running it all the way down. You can't sneak it because if you don't get in, the game's over. You think Lawrence and the Jags played it right there?
Yeah. I mean, if you get a sack there, it's over. It takes like 15, 16 seconds to run a normal play and get back on the ball and spike it. Obviously, they had less of that, but they had less to run, from the 1 yard line play would be a lot quicker. But, yeah. And then we get the flag on 4th down and I'm no way. I'm like, no way are we going to get this again.
Mm-hmm.
They've had bad penalties and they're not good penalties where I think they made a bad call early in the year. But I saw the flag. I'm like, there's no way they're going to get the redo 4th down. And
I thought they were going to have 2 shots from the 1 right there.
So I didn't know what happened. And then I see one of the Jets defenders waving. It was on them. Yeah. And I was like, what happened? And then, they said 1st down going the other way for us. And, like I said, it was a little more of a elation for the fans, knowing it's never easy. But, they won the game and walking out, everybody was smiling. And that's what I love to see for Jet fans.
Yeah, it was illegal procedure. And normally I don't miss those illegal procedures, especially with motion. They weren't set before the last guy in motion to go. Yeah. But I missed it completely because of the moment. So, credit the officials. I know they're not going to miss it, but still credit them. But yeah, good ending. Even though Mosley was distraught, they got it done. And the Jets fans who were there could go home happy. And Tom Brady is incoming. Is it Brady? Is it the Bucs this weekend?
I believe so.
I'm having a brain freeze all of a sudden. But yeah, Brady probably for the last time ever. Yeah, Brady at 1:00. Obviously Tampa's tough, but it should be interesting to see Wilson versus Brady, and then away we go.
Yeah, tough team to play, but hopefully it's freezing. Hopefully it's cold as can be. I was going to say, when you get a Florida team coming up, Brady's been in the worst weather ever. I don't know if the rest of the team, but it's going to be tough. I'm just hoping they go out there and compete and keep it close. And you never know, if you're close in the fourth quarter, anything could happen. But you saw what the Saints did to them.
Mm-hmm.
They shut them out. So anything's possible.
I was going to crack a joke saying, let's get the old man Brady up in the cold weather. Here I am with gray hair, old myself, but so I can't really say that.
Yeah, I was talking to someone the week before was, betting the Saints, betting the Tampa game, whatever. They're like, listen, all you got is hit Brady early, and he's not the same. Hit him early. I'm like, this guy won how many Super Bowls? Has thrown more yards, more time. I'm like, listen, you can't shake this dude, man. I'm like, what are you talking about?
They make it sound so easy. Yeah, just hit him. Just hit him in his own.
Try to rattle him.
Yeah.
But and hopefully we do that. But if you could just get him, if you can come up the middle, and get him off his spot, you can make him do some bad throws. But I have no problem, and no confidence can be that our defense could slow them down. And I'm confident in the offense that they could score. But they need a lot of breaks to go their way to beat them. But like I said, they beat some teams this year that might not have the one in the past. So it's not the same old Jets right now. They're definitely a different kind of team.
Yeah, and they have a chance because their interior of the D-line is stout. Quinnen Williams, Rankins could rush the passer. I mean, who's going to play? That's the question. That's the other thing we haven't touched on. We'll do it real quick. No one played for the Jets, and they still came away with the victory. Jags are banged up too, but not nearly as much so as the Jets.
Right.
So, we'll see. Come up the middle on Brady, see how Wilson plays. If he continues that confidence, that's really what you want to see this Sunday. And we'll see how they finish.
Yeah. So, like I said, exciting game yesterday to be at. Just want to wish everybody a happy new year. We'll get right back on this, Monday, hopefully, as happy as we are right now. But happy holidays, everybody. Great to be back at it with you with the podcast and great stuff going forward.
Yep. Hope you had a good holiday with the family this past weekend. And fans, we'll be making an announcement soon. We're going to be doing a Q&A with Wayne once a month over Zoom for subscribers in a way where you could specifically subscribe for the Wayne Q&A. So there'll be an announcement to come. Follow Wayne's Twitter feed, my Twitter feed, Jets X Factor. You'll get the info soon. As soon as it comes out, you'll know. But yes, happy holidays. Wayne, any final last words here?
No, like you said, everybody was there yesterday. Great game. I'm glad everybody saw it. Whoever was home rooting, hopefully get out to this Tampa game, and it's going to be great and exciting. And enjoy this week with the win. And like I said, healthy and happy holidays for everybody, and looking forward to next week.
That's right. The last time, in all probability, Jets versus Brady, so don't miss it. Until next time, this has been the Underdog Jets podcast.